Alrighty guys, welcome back to Camp Puga. We're going to get started with our next recipe. We appreciate you guys being here. It's been a lot of fun. This is going to be our third episode of our holiday season. Today we're going to be making apple crisp. A really fun, easy recipe that kind of has a lot of ingredients, but they're kind of ingredients that you would probably have in your home. Other than the oats, I would say you probably have a little bit of everything already. So it's going to be really cool and really easy. So for today's ingredients, we're going to be using some apples, some golden delicious apples. Let me see. There we go. We're going to be using some golden delicious apples. We're going to be using some sugar. On the apples, you're going to use 6 to 8 apples of your choice. We're going to be using some granulated sugar. We're going to be using some cinnamon, some lemon juice, some brown sugar, some oats. This is probably the only ingredient you don't have. That would be rolled oats. You're going to need some flour. And then you're going to need 1 stick of butter or half a cup, and then a pinch of salt or a little bit of salt. So I'm going to go ahead and get started. What you're going to want to go ahead and do is you're going to want to start peeling your apples. I've already done so to save on time, but I will cut them with you. So you want to go ahead and do is you're going to go ahead and start peeling your apples while I start cutting them right here. So let's go ahead and get started with that. So you can start peel your apples and then pause this video, and then when you're ready all peeled, you can go ahead and start up with the cutting. I'm going to cut all the apples with you here. So what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to cut the apple. You're going to want to get the core out of the apple. So you're going to have your parents help you. You're going to cut it into fourths first. So you're going to cut one. So then you have that. And you're going to cut another side. So then you have a little L shape. And then you're going to cut that other side. So now you have a kind of like a square looking. And then you're going to cut that other side like that. And then you just pretty much took out the core of the apple. So the way you're going to go ahead and cut these, you're going to cut them into small cubes. This can be pretty much at whatever desired piece you want them. You don't have to do them too big or too small. Kind of however you think would be the best shape for you as far as how you want to eat them. You can leave them in a bigger cube. You can do it in a smaller cube. Doesn't actually have to be in a large cube. So this is just one apple here. I'm going to go ahead and start cutting all the rest of those apples, and I'm going to do them together. That way it gives a little bit more time for those kiddos to learn how to cut an apple. So I'm going to go ahead and do is cut the rest of my apples, and then we'll move forward from there. Alrighty, so let's go ahead and move on to the next apple. Again, I'm going to cut all sides. I'm going to cut 1, 2, 3, 4, and I stay with my core of the apple. A good thing to learn about your knife is this is going to be on your knife. This is going to be called the spine of your knife, and then you're going to have your blade on one side. Be careful with this, parents. Please be careful with your blade, and the kiddos as well. I want to try and teach kiddos the right way to use a knife, not a wrong way. So the way you're going to use a knife is you're going to actually you're going to want to put your spine or your handle right in the middle of your hand. You're going to want to, there's an edge here, which is going to be called the neck. Here, you're going to put your thumb and finger to kind of hold on to your spine. You don't want to do it like this. This is not how you cut. You cut like this. So you're going to hold your knife kind of firm. And this avoids so that if you're going to cut something and you have more control from side to side, if you do it like this, you lose control of the neck. So you want to hold on to the neck, hold on to the spine and the handle. You're going to hold it like this. Let me give you another view on this side. So you're going to hold your knife. This is the correct way to hold a knife as a chef. So you're going to hold on. Again, you're going to have a handle here. This is the spine of your knife. You're going to put it in the middle of your hand. You're going to close your grip like this. And then you're going to hold on to the neck. You're going to put your thumb holding down like this. And then you're going to put your index finger holding the other side of the neck so that you have more control over your knife. See, it won't fall either side because I have control on both sides. So go ahead and let's cut these apples. Again, if I'm going too quick, it's okay. You can pause the video and take a little bit more time cutting your apples. You don't have to cut them as quick as I do. But initially, we've had some campers on here who have been doing it for a while, so they kind of jump on board really easily. So cut these apples like this. Hope everybody's doing well and safe. This is a great recipe for the holidays. I know most of us should be staying home for the holidays with your immediate family. So this is a quick little recipe that kiddos can do at home with their families and kind of bring something to the table, which is really cool. Cut one side, another side, another side, and another side. Okay. There we go. Go ahead and put these into a bowl so we can continue to cut. Alrighty. Got that core out. Go ahead and I pretty much do each piece about 9 into 9 cubes. That's how much you should probably get out of one. You're gonna make 2 slices horizontal and 2 slices vertical. That's about a cube you won't get. Okay. Do it again. Alrighty, and then another thing, a quick reminder, parents, you want to put your preheat your oven at 350 degrees. That is preheat your oven at 350 degrees before it gets started. So after we cut these apples, it kind of goes really quick. So make sure you preheat your oven for 350 degrees. And you're going to be baking from 40 to 45 minutes, depending on how high your oven usually cooks. Okay, got 3 more apples to cut up. Alrighty. Okay. Oops. Okay, last apple. And last piece. There we go. Alrighty, now that we have cut those apples up, we have a nice good amount here. What you're going to want to do is you're going to want to prep these apples to put them into your pan. You will be using, what would this be? Probably like an 8x10, maybe, kind of, sort of. 8x12 pan, kind of like a baking sheet. You're gonna want to grease the bottom of the pan or butter the pan before you put your apples into it. So, but let's go ahead and get our apples prepared. So we have our apples here. What we're gonna be adding into our apples is gonna be it's gonna be our cinnamon. So we'll be using, where's my recipe? Be using 1/3 teaspoon of cinnamon. Okay, so you're gonna have one teaspoon and 3/4 of a teaspoon. You're gonna sprinkle that on top of your apples, and then you're gonna do your regular sugar. So it's gonna be 2 tablespoons of regular sugar. 1. 2. You're going to want to do a quick spin of salt or a pinch of salt. And then you're going to want to add some lemon juice. How much lemon juice do we need? Okay, 1.5 teaspoons of lemon juice. So 1 teaspoon, and then let's do a half. Okay, so I have my cinnamon, sugar, salt, and lemon juice in here. I'm gonna go ahead and mix those up. Get everything nice and coated. Make sure every apple is coated nice with the cinnamon. Alrighty. So here we are. We have our apple sugar coated, cinnamon sugar coated apples. We're gonna go ahead and put those in our pan. Let me grab some oil so we can grease our pan, and then we can put our apples in there. Alrighty, so I went ahead and greased the bottom of the pan. I'm gonna pour my apples in here. Get all those apples in there. And then you're gonna want to spread them out. Just like that. Okay, we're gonna go ahead and put this aside, and let's go ahead and make our streusel topping for the top of those apples. Alrighty, so here we go. We're gonna go ahead and get our streusel topping ready. So what we're gonna go ahead and do is we're gonna use 3/4 cup of oats. Remember, if you don't have an actual measuring cup, you can actually use a red Solo cup. So this would be half a cup. This would be a full cup. A cup and 3/4, and then 2 cups, just approximately. So what we're gonna go ahead and do is we're gonna do 3/4 to a cup of oats. Okay, so we got our oats in there. Now what we're gonna be needing is a 1 cup of brown sugar. Alrighty. Okay, so you have your oats and your brown sugar. You're gonna go ahead and add another 2 tablespoons of sugar to the mixture here. Okay, and then you're gonna add another, probably, I'm gonna say like 3 dashes of cinnamon. Okay. And then you're gonna use your spoon and you're gonna mix that all up. Break up your brown sugar clumps. Okay, we have that all mixed up. Now what we're gonna go ahead and do is we're gonna cut up our butter. So I'm gonna open up a stick of butter here. Okay. I'm gonna cut this into cubes, kind of like we did last week. So I'm gonna cut them up into small cubes. Okay, just like that. All right. So you can do this 2 different ways. I'm gonna do it the way where we throw our butter into our streusel topping here, or you can throw your streusel topping onto your apples, and then you can put your butter on top of that. But I'm gonna go ahead and do is I'm gonna put my butter already into my streusel topping here, like this, and then I'm just gonna separate the clumps and mix it into my streusel topping. Alright, so once you have it pretty much coated, what you're going to go ahead and do is you're going to obviously have some clean hands, and then you're going to go in there and break up your butter with your fingers. You're just going to want to get a clump like this and then just start separating into smaller pieces. Smaller pieces, smaller pieces. Okay, and once you have that nice and pretty much combined, you should have some kind of bulky pieces and then some loose pieces as well. You're going to want to get your cinnamon sugar coated apples, and then you're going to want to put your streusel topping on top. You're going to want to spread it evenly amongst all of it. That way everything gets a little bit of nice streusel topping. Make sure you use all of your streusel topping, even though you think it's a little too much. A lot of it will be absorbed, a lot of it will be caramelized, and it'll be just right for your apples. The more the merrier. Alrighty, so we have pretty much coated here. Got my apples underneath, got my butter on top, and my streusel topping. Alrighty guys, that's pretty much it. We're gonna go ahead and stick this into the oven at 350 degrees For 40 to 45 minutes, you're going to want to see a nice golden color, a nice bubble from the butter. That's how you know it's going to be done. So about 40 to 45 minutes, I'm going to stick to more of the 40 end. That butter should melt down nice and pretty, a nice flavor to those, to that crisp. The caramelized of the brown sugar will come out, and it'll be an excellent apple crisp recipe. So go ahead and post pictures today of what you got. I'm going to post pictures of mine as well, and we'll see you guys on the next one. Have a good one, guys.